Hi and welcome to Rose Red Homestead, where this video is another weigh-in. It is weigh-in number 7, and I'm excited to report my weight, after which I'm going to weigh in on what are healthy fats. So first of all, here is my weight, and boy oh boy am I tickled. I lost from here to here, from last week to this week, 3 pounds. So I'm very, very pleased. So that is a total of 8 pounds in 7 weeks. And that is a really good, steady weight loss. I don't want to go too fast and be left with a whole bunch of flabby skin. If you want to see what flabby skin looks like, just go to TikTok. Some of those images are unforgettable, I'll say. And I don't want that. We started off after the announcement of going into this program where I was going to share with you my food management attack, or my food management. I'm not calling it a plan. It's not an official plan. It's my personal plan, but it's not associated with any commercial plan whatsoever. Not keto, not Weight Watchers, not Dr. Atkins, nothing. This is a combination of what I know works for me and what I learned from my Healthy Lifestyles doctor when I was going to her for about 3 years. And I've shared that with you, but we talked about macronutrients and micronutrients. The 3 macronutrients are complex carbs, healthy fats, and lean protein. Those are the ones that we want to be including in our diet. Today we're going to talk about what are healthy fats. Those of us that have lived through several decades can remember the time when the health industry was really down on fat of any kind. We were to stay away from fats. We were to drink skim milk and not eat a lot of any kind of fat. And the belief then, based on what research there was at that time, was that pretty much all fat is unhealthy. Well, thank goodness, additional research, additional technology, advances in those areas have turned that idea on its head. We now know a whole lot more about fats, and it's not just eating fat, it is the type of fat that we eat that determines whether or not we're eating healthy or not healthy. Basically, there are 3 types of fats. On the really awful bad end are trans fats. Then in the middle are saturated fats. And then the super healthy fats are the unsaturated fats. And I'm not going to go into the deep chemistry of any of that. I'm just giving you the basic information, and you can deepen your knowledge on that. There are plenty of articles on what healthy fats are out on the internet, and you can do your own research there. I'm going to be reporting some studies from Harvard and information on Healthline. Both of those sources are sources that I trust when it comes to scientific and particularly dietary things. I have divided the fats into 3 categories. Here are the trans fats. Oops, you'll notice I have none, and there's good reason for that. Even a small amount of trans fat is very deleterious to our bodies. It can encourage disease and is not good for us at all. So we need to avoid trans fat. You can look now on the back of foods, and by law they have to report how much trans fat is contained in whatever product it is. Thankfully, most people have completely removed trans fats from their production process of processed foods. Where you are most likely to find trans fats are in highly processed foods. Start looking at food labels, especially on things like bread and cookies and cakes that you buy from the grocery store, not things that you make yourself. Now, it used to be that Crisco used to have trans fats in it. And as soon as it was made known how bad trans fats are for us, Crisco got a huge black eye. And to their credit, they worked very hard to remove the trans fats. Trans fats are partially hydrogenated oils. And now, if you read the content, the nutrition fact label on the back, Trans fat is 0. It's mostly saturated fat, and that's why it is here. So these we can use in moderation. Here's my yogurt again. And these are the healthy fats over here. So let's go through the saturated fats. So we have in this group butter, cheeses of all kinds, red meat, solid oils like coconut oil, palm oil, dairy products, and then of course I've just talked about Crisco. Now all of these and what they learned about saturated fats, even though we have to use these in moderation, these have other dietary pluses that the current literature tells us that these are fine to eat. Just eat them in moderation. When we pick dairy products have saturated fats in them. Almost all dairy products do. It is now important that we don't use 2% or fat-free dairy products, because what happens, and actually it was one of our viewers who mentioned this in one of her comments to me, and then I checked it out, and she was absolutely right when she said, just take 3 yogurts out of the dairy case. Check one that is full fat, one that is low fat, and one that is no fat, and look at the carbs, particularly the sugar. The more fat is taken out, the more sugar they put in. And so sugar and carbs go up when the fat goes down. And that makes sense because fat is a lot of the flavor, and so they have to compensate. Otherwise, nobody would buy it because it would be really yucky. So the full fat yogurt and dairy products are just fine for us to eat so long as we eat them in moderation. And they're better for us than the others as well. Crisco does not have any other compensating food value the way these things do. So this is red meat. This is beef chunks that I have canned. So this is something else that is in the saturated fat. Then we move over, and we're dodging the sun as it moves across our counter here. So I'm going to pull these things over out of the sunlight. So the unsaturated foods, these are the things that we really need to focus on and include in our nutrient-dense diets. Nuts are really, really good. And I've got cashews and walnuts and almonds right here. And then fatty fish. Fatty fish, this is some of our home canned salmon, and this is some tuna. Both of these are excellent. They contain the right kind of fats for us, and this is what we should focus on more instead of the red meats. Avocados, a health powerhouse. The fat in avocados is the type of fat that is really good for us, plus it has lots of fiber and other nutrients. And then the oils that are recommended, that are called healthy oils, are canola oil, olive oil, and sunflower oil, which I don't have any of. I know some of you have problems with canola oil, so then don't use it. Use one of the others. I don't have a problem with it, and so I use quite a bit of canola oil. So if we focus on the healthy fats, which are right here, if we supplement with some of the saturated fats and stay completely away from trans fat, then what they say is that it will, when you cut back on foods like red meat and butter and replace them with fish, beans, nut, and healthy oils instead of refined carbohydrates, those foods pack important nutrients that can benefit your health. Many contain protein, fiber, and key vitamins. So the generalized list of nutrient-dense foods that span both of these include avocados, cheese, dark chocolate, but be sure it's 60% cacao, whole eggs, oh, I forgot to get eggs out, but yes, eggs are good, fatty fish we've mentioned, nuts, chia seed, extra virgin olive oil, and full-fat yogurt. So that's the skinny on fats. And I have changed my intake of foods after doing this research. I now stay away from fat-free and low-fat versions of dairy products. And I think that that is going to help a lot. So I hope that this has been helpful and informative for you. And it would be worth your while to spend a little bit more time and dig a little bit deeper into, just Google healthy fats, and a lot of things will come up for you to look at. So thanks for joining us for this weigh-in, and we will see you again at another video very soon.